Hey buddies, welcome back to Larissa Ranks Things. My name is Larissa and today we're ranking horror movies that I've seen by how much they traumatized me. So I'm not a scary movie person. I don't like being scared. I am a big baby and I'm just such a paranoid person. Like I hear a sound at night and I just assume it's someone coming to kill me. And so horror movies do not help with that. But yeah, I have been branching out and watching some. I wouldn't say all the movies that I'm about to rank are actually that scary. But whatever, they're in the horror genre, so let me be and let me think I'm brave. And yeah, also spoiler warning, I guess. I'm gonna talk about the plots of each movie and I'm just assuming that I'm gonna spoil a lot of stuff. So fair warning with that. Okay, let's do it. All right, so let's get started. Ranking horror movies by how much they traumatized me. Okay, so in 13th place is Happy Death Day. So the plot of this movie is basically we have this girl named Tree and she goes to school and she wakes up basically. It's like Groundhog Day where she wakes up every single day and it's the same day and it's the day that she gets murdered. And so every day she gets murdered again. And so she has to figure out who's killing her so that she can stop them, I guess. And yeah, it did not scare me. When this movie was the trailer was playing in movie theaters, I was like, this is so horrifying and how could anyone ever watch this? This is so scary. But literally the only scary part about this movie was just that awful baby mask that the killer would wear. I don't know what would possess a school to make their mascot a baby, but the mask was awful looking. But yeah, this movie was way more funny than scary, so not traumatizing. In 12th place is Bird Box, also not traumatizing. So there's this monster, I think, and it was if you looked at it, I think you would kill yourself. I don't know how that works out exactly, but I think that's what the deal was. So Sandra Bullock is oh, gotta wear an eye cover, and then it's her with her two kids and she's trying to make it across the wilderness to this bird sanctuary because I think the monster doesn't like birds. And so she's trying to get to the bird sanctuary without getting them killed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this movie was not impactful on me. I don't really remember it that intensely. I don't remember liking it that much. It wasn't scary. Yeah. In 11th place is Jennifer's Body. So in this movie, we have a Megan Fox, right? And she's besties with Amanda Seyfried. And they go to this concert and the band worships Satan, right? And so they take Jennifer and they take her to this waterfall, which I think might be called Devil's Creek or something devilly. And so they cut her open and kill her and sacrifice her to Satan, but it didn't work and she didn't die. So she came back and was a demon kind of deal. So she was just going around high school and eating boys and causing chaos in the town. And then Amanda Seyfried is oh my god, my best friend is literally possessed and killing people. No. And so she's trying to prove that Megan Fox is evil and then stop her. So that's the movie. Yeah, I was a fan. It wasn't that scary, but I guess when she would eat people, it could be kind of gruesome. So I guess that's why it's ranked as more traumatizing, even though it wasn't traumatizing. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie and did not have nightmares. In 10th place is Freaky. I think this is my favorite movie on the list. I loved this movie. So basically, it's like Freaky Friday, but with like serial killers. So we have Catherine Newson, question mark is her last name. That's the actress. I don't remember the character's name. We have Catherine Newson and we have Vince Vaughn, right? And he is a serial killer, but she is a 16-year-old high school student, right? And so Vince Vaughn is on the loose and he's like killing people, and he tries to kill her with this like mystical knife, but he doesn't end up killing her. He just like cuts her a little bit. And so the knife, Freaky Friday magics them and makes Vince Vaughn, the serial killer, go into her 16-year-old high school body. And then her 16-year-old high school self goes into the serial killer's body. And so it's just like now he's a teenage girl and he's just like killing people in the high school because like who's gonna assume it's her? And she's in this like serial killer body and she's like, oh my God, I need to get my body back. And so it's like that happening. And this movie was literally so funny. Vince Vaughn playing as a teenage girl is like the best thing I've ever seen. The reason this would be ranked as like more traumatizing is I guess because like some of the kills were like more gory. Like, not gonna lie, I looked away from a few. There was one where he like sawed a guy in half and I was like, oh, I don't need to see that. But yeah, so I guess that's why it's like more scary. Okay, in 9th place is Alien. So there's like, I don't know how many people, 7 question mark, on like a spaceship, and they go to this planet because they get a stress call or something, and they're like exploring the planet like, oh, who made the call? And they find this like disgusting just like cave of like eggs. Disgusting. And so this guy who sucks, he picks up one of the eggs, and then like the baby is like hatching or something, and it like shoots out and it like connects to his helmet or something, and it like goes in him, and then it's like, ooh. And so the other people on the planet bring him back to the ship and are like, he needs medical attention. And then my girl, who I don't remember her name is, but she was the only good one, she is like, y'all, that is like alien stuff. We can't bring that on board. It's gonna like contaminate everyone. We don't know what's deal. He needs to quarantine. And everyone was like, no, he needs help. We're gonna bring him on the board. Foolish. And so they bring him in, and then they like get the thing out of him, and it was like this like disgusting like tube, like fleshy tube, and it was like in his mouth and like connected to him, and it was like so disgusting. And they get it out, and then they just like lose it, and it's just like on the ship, and then it keeps growing and like eating things and like shedding and like getting bigger, and then it's like the alien, and it's like killing everyone on board. And then my girl has to try and like get away on a shuttle, and then she like sucks it out into space. But oh my God, disgusting. So this movie was not like scary. Like, I don't get really the hype of it being like, is it even hyped as being a scary movie? I feel like it is. I didn't really like it that much. I didn't find it to be that scary, but it was just like so disgusting. I just hate that. So that's why it's like voted as more traumatizing. Like, I don't want to see aliens going into people's throats. Ugh, disgusting. In 8th place is A Quiet Place. So basically there's this like a monster. There's always a monster. So there's a monster, and it can like hear really good. So if you make a sound, it's gonna hear you and be like, I know where you are, and now I'm gonna kill you. So we got this family. We got Emily Blunt and John Krasinski and their 2 question mark kids. And I think she's pregnant. And so they're like traveling around trying to survive and live, and they're not making any sounds. They don't talk these like sign language, and everything's quiet. But then she's like going into labor, I think, and it's like, how do I give birth in silence? Eek. And so John Krasinski is like, oh my God, I need to help out here. I need to like protect the home or something. And I think it like gets in the house. I don't really remember that much. But yeah, that's the movie. This wasn't like as scary as I thought it was gonna be. I feel like it probably scared me a little bit. It's been a while, so I don't remember my exact reaction. However, it is ranked as more traumatizing because it was just like emotionally devastating. Like the end really got me there, had me crying a lot. So for that, it gets to be more traumatizing for me. In seventh place is Get Out. So in this movie, there is our main guy who I do not remember his name. And he's dating this girl whose name I also don't remember. And he goes home to meet her family in like the middle of the woods, I think is their house. I don't know. There's like weird stuff going on where like the mom is like a hypnotist or something. And then he discovers like this box of like photos of the girlfriend with a bunch of other black guys who were her boyfriends. And he's like, what is this? And then the family literally turns out to be disgusting. And they take black people and they like hypnotize them or something. And they take their brains, I think, and they replace them with other people's brains in the family. So like, I think that if you're like old or something, you can then go into this new body via like hypnotherapy. I don't know. And then it's like they're just stealing these people's bodies. Ugh. And so then he's like, ooh, this is really weird. And they're like trying to do that to him. But then he gets away. And that is nice. But yeah, ooh. This was like a horrifying movie premise. I don't think it was like watching it was scary. It was more like psychological, like conceptual scariness. But it was a really good movie, but definitely horrifying. So yeah, that is, I guess, a little traumatizing. I wasn't like traumatized. We're not in trauma zone yet. We're gonna get there, but that is why this movie is rated higher. In sixth place, we have Scream. So again, I saw this one a while ago. I think the premise is that there's this girl and her mom, I think, was murdered like a year ago or something. And then she's like, oh, it's approaching the anniversary. And then there's this like guy who's killing people and he kills Drew Barrymore. And the girl is like, this is so traumatizing. There's a guy killing people and my mom was killed and now I'm like reliving this. And so I think like a couple other people die and then the town is like, this is bad. And then she's dating the guy who, the actor plays FP in Riverdale. Love that. She's dating him, I don't know his name, and he's like, it's okay, I'm gonna protect you. And then he gets arrested for being the murderer. They're like, we think it's you. And then he's like, it's not me. And then she's like, oh my God, my boyfriend. But then I think he gets out. And then him, her, and the guy from Scooby-Doo and probably some other people all go to a house, I think, where they're like, oh, we're just gonna like stay together. And then it turns out that more people are dying and the boyfriend is in fact the killer, I think. Or him and Scooby-Doo work together. I really do not understand or remember the reasoning behind why they were killing people, but it definitely was happening and that's the movie. I didn't describe that well. I literally could not tell you like exactly what happened in this movie. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it scared me. Again, it's been a while, so I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was scary. I find murderers to be really scary, like more than like supernatural things, because supernatural scary movies, I can be like, oh, it's not real. But like there's serial killers in the world and that's scary. So I think this one was probably more like, oh, could be real, but it was not traumatizing. Yeah. That's the story. In fifth place is Us. I literally do not exactly know what went down. So there's this girl, I don't know her name, Lupita. She is the girl. And then when she was little, she went to Santa Cruz, right, with her family. And she goes to this like weirdo hall of mirrors, and then she's like, oh, and then there's this other girl. She's looking in the mirror and she's like, oh, that's my reflection, but then it's moving, and she's like, bro, what is this? And then it's like, oh, what happened, right? And so then it turns out there's this like other group of like people called like the Tethers, I think. And it's like underground, I think underground. Like every single person on Earth has like a tether who like lives underground and just like is forced to mimic, I think, like everything that's going on up there. But then like it turns out that like when it all went down in her childhood, the tether version of her like switched places with the real version of her. So like Lupita, who is playing like the mom, like who is like normal, she is actually the tether, and then the tether version of her is like the real her, but she was like forced to live underground or whatever. And I have like a lot of questions about how this logistically makes sense. I don't really get that. I still don't understand a lot about this movie. And then it's like, whoa, what a big reveal. And then I think like the tethers are stopped or something, and then they're all holding hands around the world. So that is Us. I really didn't explain that one well either. It's just like so complex, and I didn't do a good job of explaining that. But yeah, this was really scary to me. I do not like the idea of there being silent, freaky versions of me underground. That is not something that I enjoy. So this is definitely scary, but this has not like traumatized me. But not nice, for sure. Okay, in fourth place, we have MIDSOMMAR. Okay, let me try and explain this. So we have, what's her name? Florence Pugh. I don't know if I'm saying that right. We have Florence, right? And she is a girl, and I think her family was killed or something, or found dead. And she's like, this is horrible. And then she gets a call from this like guy in Sweden, question mark. And they might have gone to school and college together. I don't know how she knows him. And he's like, hey, you should come down to this MIDSOMMAR party I'm having in Sweden or wherever the heck I am, and bring some friends or something. And her boyfriend, I think, is like an anthropologist or something, and so she goes with him and all their friends, and they go to Sweden or wherever they went. And then they're like learning about like the rituals of the community and stuff, and it's like, ooh, this is kind of weird. And like then like a bunch of their friends like start going missing, and it's like, oh, what happened to our friends? And then there's this part where the Florence and the boyfriend, they might be fighting, I don't know. And then she goes to like be in this like dance contest, and then he goes to do like something else. I think this girl wanted to like mate with him, and he was like, bro, what? But then like it ends up happening, and she wins her contest and is like the May Queen. And then she sees him with this other girl and is like, oh my God, what the heck? And so she goes a little bonkers, and like they put him like inside. They get this bear, and then they like gut the bear, and then they put his body inside, and then they put him in a barn and then like burn the barn down. And then it's like, oh. And so like then we finally see like all the friends who were killed, and then they're dead too. So it's like, I'm pretty sure the cult Swedish guy, he brought her there and all her friends so that they could be like the annual sacrifices for the MIDSOMMAR thing. And that's the plot of MIDSOMMAR. Comment down below if I'm describing any of these correctly. Yeah, I literally was not prepared for this movie. My suite mate was watching it like whenever I was last at college, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch with you. I did not know what I was getting into. Like, this movie was so like gruesome. I literally like could not even watch parts. Like, I don't even know how some of the friends died. because I'm like, I simply will not look. There was one part where like when you're like old, I don't know how old, like 80 question mark, like they make you like like walk off this cliff onto rocks. And so literally these two elderly people just like walked off this cliff, and then we like saw their body just like smash onto the ground. And I'm like, why would you show that? That is so gross. So yeah. Okay. In third place, guys, now we are entering trauma territory, okay? The last three, top three, these are the trauma makers, okay? So, in third place, we have the Care Bears movie. And I know what you're thinking, Larissa, what are you talking about? Care Bears is not a horror movie. It is to me, okay? I don't care. This is one of the most horrifying movies I've ever seen, and I don't want to hear it, okay? So I literally could not tell you the plot of this movie. I have no idea what went down. I don't know what was happening. All I know is that there was this horrifying, disgusting book. There was a book, right? And if you open the book, there was this green face inside the book. And she was like, I think the spirit, I think was her name. And she just lived in this book, and you see that little boy on the thing there. I'm pretty sure he like opened the book or something, and she might have been like trying to corrupt him, and I think there might have been like a carnival involved. That's unclear to me. But basically, I just had, as a child, literally that face in the book gave me nightmares for so long. Even looking at it now, that thing is disgusting. And I don't know why they would put that in a children's movie. Why did they do that? It's so disturbing. So I don't care. This is a horror movie, and it really traumatized me, and I had lots of nightmares about that face in the book, and I'm not happy that Care Bears did this. In second place, we have Monster House. This movie was also very much traumatizing for me. I also couldn't tell you the plot of it. So there's this friend, there's these two friends, I guess there's three of them from the movie poster. There's three friends. I don't know why they were at this guy's house. I don't know why they went inside, but they did. And so this guy is like this really mean old man, and it's because I think, and he hates children, I think because his wife, I don't think she was killed by a child. I don't know how she died, but his wife is dead. And so then he's like mad at kids. And then I think the wife's like spirit or something like made the house like evil. And so the house is like a person, kind of like the door is the mouth, like the windows are the eyes, like I think there was a part where it was like the chandelier was like the uvula in the mouth. And it's just like, and the carpet was like a tongue or something. And it was just like this awful house that I think might have been like trying to kill the kids. I do not know. I don't know the plot of this movie. And so yeah, the house is like evil. This movie, I remember I was like, I don't know how old. I must have been in like the first grade or something. And my dad was like, what movie do you want to watch? To me and my sister. He was like, we're going to the movies. What movie do you want to watch? And I don't know who suggested Monster House, but I was like, yeah, let's see Monster House. And he was like, Larissa, it's going to be scary. Are you sure you're ready for that? And I was like, yeah, duh, I'm ready, Dad. Come on. I was not ready. I wasn't ready for it. This movie literally gave me nightmares for like 2 years. I'm not even joking. Like, this movie made me afraid of my house. Like, that's so sad. I can't even believe it. I do not even understand why this was real. And it was deeply upsetting and traumatizing and made me really scared. And I did not enjoy it at all. And in first place, ultimate traumatizing movie for me is Coraline. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. So there's Coraline, right? Ugh. There's Coraline, and she hates her life, question mark. I think they might have like just moved, and she was like, oh, I hate this house. Yeah, I think they just moved. And so she discovers this like portal. Oh my God. In the movie, there was like a little door, and then it led to like a tunnel. And she would like go through the tunnel and enter like a new dimension or like world or something. And it was like just like the real world, except all the people there, and like everyone was like doubles of like the real people in her life. But then they had like buttons for eyes, and they were like, "Oh, Coraline, I'm your mom and I'm your dad and I love you and I just want you to like have fun." And then she's like, "Oh my God, my button parents are so sick. Why does my mom literally suck IRL?" And so she goes back, and I think she might like tell her mom about it, and she's like, "Ah, my other mom lets me have so much fun," or something. And then the mom like is like, "Ooh, this thing is bad." And so she like locks the key away to the door. And then Coraline is like, "I can't believe you. I'm gonna find the key." And so she keeps like going back. So she's like going over there, and then she goes over one more time, I think. And then like, I think the parents were like, "Oh my God, Coraline, we have a gift for you." And then she's like, "Sick, what's the gift?" And so they gave her, oh my God, they literally gave her like a pair of button eyes. And they were like, "You could stay here forever." And then Coraline was like, "Ooh, this is kind of like bad vibes. Maybe I would miss my parents." And so I think she like turns down the gift. And then I don't know what happens, but I think she makes the mom really angry, like the button mom. And then she turns into this like awful, just like monster, gross version of herself. And then she locks Coraline into like a dungeon cell. And then I left the room. I left the room. I don't know what happened. I don't know how she gets away, but she gets away, I think. And then she goes back home and she's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I love you so much." And so that's the movie. Oh my God, that is just like the worst thing I could ever imagine. Like, oh my God, we watched this in my 3rd grade class. And then once it got to the part where the parents were evil, I was like, "I can't take this anymore. This is so scary." And I was like, "Mrs. Holt, I can't watch this. I'm scared." And so I sat in the hallway in a rolly chair, and I probably like did a craft or something. So there's a blank part in my understanding of the movie. But yeah, ew. This movie also gave me nightmares for years. Like, this was genuinely so scary and traumatizing to me. I remember like the day I watched it, I left school and I had to like go to dance class, and my mom pulled up to dance class, and I looked at her. I was like, "Mom," I can't stop thinking about Coraline. And she was like, "Larissa, just go to dance class. You'll be distracted." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's like I couldn't even like escape like my mind. Like, all my mind could think about was Coraline and how disturbing it was." Anytime now that I see anything related to Coraline, I'm like, nope. And like, so many people like it. Like, if you're a Coraline fan, don't even come at me being like, "Oh, Larissa, it's not that scary. It's actually a really good movie." Yeah, you're maybe right. I am happy for you that you like this, but my 3rd grade child self is way too traumatized, and the trauma has transcended the years into my adulthood, and I will never watch this movie again. So if you like this movie, congratulations. I hate it, and I don't know why this is a children's movie. And yeah, this is like the most traumatizing thing I've ever seen. So that's the end. Yay. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I guess what we can all take away from this video is that children's movies are the most horrifying and traumatizing of them all. And that's the story. Comment down below if you agree with any of my rankings, and let me know what movie traumatized you the most. I'd love to hear about it. Also, if you have any requests on what I should rank next, comment that too. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.